everyone, welcome to the fourth part of our Pokemon augmented reality camera. In this part we are going to create a Pokeball throwing like in the normal Pokemon Go game. So here's a video of what we are going to make. So let's get started. Okay, I've added a couple of things. I've added a Pokeball model, and I've also added a Mewtwo model just to throw at it. For the Pokeball model, I've added a rigid body and a sphere collider and a Pokeball script. So let's go to the script, and in the script currently is a start function, a update function, a reset function, a untouch function, and a trouble function with a parameter factor 2. And what we are going to add right now, after you've done that, is we will add a serialized field tag, then create 4 floats. The first one will be throw speed, the second will be speed, the third and fourth will be last mouse X and last mouse Y. Then we'll create 2 booleans, private bool thrown and holding. Then we will create a private rigid body, and we will also create a private vector tree. We'll call that new position. So once you've done that, let's go to our start function and define rigid body. Rigid body is get component rigid body, and then we'll say when the start function, at start we'll say call the reset function. Once you have that, let's go to our update. There we will say if holding is true, then onTouch function will be called, and if thrown, we will say return. Okay, then we will create 3 if statements. And the first one will be a if statement for the start, so when we click on the ball. The second will be when we let loose of the ball, and the third will be when we have our finger on the screen. So let's start with the first one. We're going to check if input touch count equals 1, and our input get touch 0.face equals touch face that began. So if we started touching, and we'll do that. For the second if statement, we'll copy the first one, but change the began to ended. But for the last one, we'll just say if input the touch count equals 1. So then we will go to our first if statement, and we'll start by making a array. Array is camera.main screen to screen point to array, and we'll just say input get touch 0 position, and we'll also make a raycast hit, and then we'll create another if statement, physics.raycast ray out hit, and then for the max distance we'll say 100f. Then we'll create another if statement to check if the transform we've hit is the same transform is our transform. So if hit.transform equals our transform, then we'll say holding is true, and we'll set our transform's parent to null. Then we'll go to the ended phase, and we'll check if our last mouse X is less than our current X. So if input get touch 0, the position of y, is greater than our last mouse y, then we'll activate our throw ball function with as parameter input get touch 0, the position. Then for our last one, we'll just say last mouse x is our current position x, that x, and our last mouse y is our current last y is our current y position. So that's it for the update function. Now let's start by creating our untouched function. We'll start by creating a new vector tree called mouse position, and we'll set that to input.getTouch 0, the position, and we'll change its set position to camera.main.nearClipLane times 7.5 f. Then we'll say new position is camera.main.screen-to-world-point, and we'll do mouse position here. So now we've created from our current position a position in the world. So from the screen position to a world position, and then we will add another line that says transform.local position is vector3.lerp our current local position to new position, and then we'll change that with 50 times time the delta time. Okay, so once we have that, we'll go to our throw ball. In our throw ball we'll say rigid body that choose gravity is true, and then we'll create two floats, one called float difference y, and that will be equal to mouse position dot y minus our last mouse y minus our last mouse my bad, divided by screen.height times 10, and we'll also create a and then we'll say speed is throw speed times our difference y, and then we'll create a new float called x. I will say that mouse position dot x divided by screen.width minus our last mouse x divided by screen.width, and then we'll say x is math.apps input.mouse position, or in this case input.getTouch 0 position.x minus last mouse x divided by screen.width times 100 times x. Then we'll create a new vector tree called direction. I'll say is new vector tree x, then 0f, and then 1f, and then we'll say direction is camera.main.transform direction, then direction. So now our direction is rotated based on our camera's rotation, so it works on multiple angles. And then we will add a force to our rigid body, so rigid body that add force, then direction times speed divided by 2f plus our vector tree.up times speed. Okay, then after that we will say holding is false, so we don't hold it anymore, and then we'll say thrown is true. And we'll just say invoke reset, so the ball will go back to our position. Oh, reset after 5 seconds. Okay, so the last thing we have to do is go change our reset function. First of all, we'll say cancel invoke. Then we'll set our transform.position to camera.main.viewport to world point, and then we'll say new vector 3 0.5f, then 0.1f, and then camera.near clip plane times 7.5f. And then we'll set our new position to our transform position, and then thrown is the same as holding, and that is equal to false. And then we'll just reset our rigid body manually with rigid body.useGravity is false, and our rigid body.velocity is vector 3.0, and our rigid body.angular velocity is also vector 3.0, and our rotation, we'll set that to transform.rotation is quaternion.euler 0f, 200f, and 0f, and then we'll set our parent to the cameras. So camera.main.transform is the new parent, and once we have that, we have our script ready. Now go to Unity, and we have to build this. On our computer this won't work because it's reading the touch events but not our mouse. So you can either use Unity Remote. You can download this from the App Store and then set the device to any Android device, or you can either build it. Building is simpler and it works better in my opinion. So I'm just going to build this. So I did have a little typo. Change the 10 to 100, and in Unity don't forget to change the Pokéball's throw speed to 35, and then build it again.